Hello, once more, everyone. Welcome back to Share American Team doing another 2024 NFL prediction for Wildcard weekend as we get here into the postseason. 6 games on the schedule to predict this weekend for Wildcard week. After finishing 4-3 in Week 18, my final regular season record comes to 72-54. As we get into the 6 games this weekend, some fun ones to talk about. Multiple divisions having 2 wildcard teams in them. So let's get started right now with the wildcard week predictions. As we get started, in the first matchup, the Houston Texans, C.J. Stroud, they're going up against the Chargers, and Justin Herbert, first-year head coach, Jim Harbaugh, who's back in the NFL. Last time he was in the NFL, he was head coach of the 49ers. When you talk about this team, Chargers, this wildcard team, where they've gotten this season have been interesting to see. One of those teams is just like the Broncos in the AFC West with 2 teams in, and the NFC North with the Packers and Vikings in as wildcard teams. It's so interesting to see 2 divisions having 3 teams in the playoffs, and the Texans, they're one of those teams this year in the playoffs that I think could be one of those teams that gets hurt with the playoffs coming up, only because they had some rough times this year, losing one of the top wide receivers, and then they're playing at home against the Chargers. This is a tough game, I think, for the Texans at home, but as I look at it, their last game I predicted them to play in 2 weeks ago for Christmas Day game, they lost the Ravens 31-2 at home, another playoff team. And the Houston Texans, they scare me a little bit going into this matchup. I think the Chargers, Justin Herbert, they come in this game, I think, coming in with momentum coming in. And the Chargers, they look like a team to me that could scare the Texans away. This matchup, I think this game's going to be a close one at the end of the day on Saturday as they play it. And at the end of the day, I think the Chargers coming away with an upset win as they beat the number 4 team, Houston Texans, and C.J. Stroud. So give me the Chargers in this one on Saturday afternoon, as I think Justin Herbert and the Chargers go in and beat C.J. Stroud and the Texans on Saturday afternoon. Moving on, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers, Russell Wilson. They go up against Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson, the possible MVP. We also have Russell Wilson, a former Super Bowl champion quarterback, leading the Steelers. They come in off a loss, 19-17 to Cincinnati last week. Week before that, they came off a loss to the Chiefs on Christmas Day, 29-10. And let's look at the Steelers' momentum. They have lost momentum going into the last 2 weeks in Week 17 and 18 overall. The Ravens, on the other side, they've come in with multiple wins. They beat the Texans on Christmas Day, 31-2. They beat the Browns last weekend at home in a game that was close till the end of it. And speaking of that, the Steelers and Ravens, these 2 teams look like, with the NFC North rivalry coming in, this game's going to come down to the very last play of the game. And with the kicker for the Ravens, Justin Tucker having issues this year, I think the Steelers' defense is going to have to be getting teams an attack and force them to kick field goals. At the end of the day, I think Lamar Jackson will make the biggest plays necessary to get the Ravens a win, and that's why I think the Ravens win this one, though, and a close one late in the game. So give me the Ravens here this one on Saturday night in primetime against the Steelers. Next matchup, Denver Broncos and Bo Nix, rookie quarterback, they're going up against the Bills, and Josh Allen. And now that we get to the postseason with the Bills, it's always that story. Because the Bills, I said this earlier this year, the Bills are one of those teams. When they finish the regular season good, but when they get to the playoffs, they can't finish games out. And I think Bo Nix, rookie quarterback for the Broncos, coming into Buffalo, this is going to be a game where the Bills, they're going to have to play to their best standard. Josh Allen and the Bills, they're going to have to come in, play a good game if they want to win, and move on to the divisional round. And playing against the Broncos and Bo Nix, this is going to be a tough one. This is a tough start for the Bills after the Broncos won 38-0 last week against Kansas City. And I did pick the Broncos last week. It was interesting to see that happen. The Bills, Josh Allen, they have a team that they can make plays. But after thinking the Broncos won 38-0 last week, can the Broncos bring that forward into a playoff game? I think they can, possibly. But at the end of the day, I think the Bills' defense and Josh Allen will have too much to handle with the Broncos. And I think the Bills will make the big plays at the end of the day. Josh Allen, he knows how to win in the postseason. It's when he gets to Kansas City or the divisional round or the championship round, he can't get to the Super Bowl. And if the Bills are going to get to the Super Bowl this year, they have to finish games. And I think they finished this one, though, in a close one at the end of the day as well. I think all the games are going to be close this weekend. The first three, at least. The bottom half, we'll see about that. But at the end of the day, I think the Bills will get a win in a close game against the Broncos and Bonix on Sunday afternoon. Moving on, next one. We have the Green Bay Packers going against the Eagles. Jordan Love, he is coming in a game where he is coming off an injury. He got hurt against the Bears last week, and the Bears lost to the Bears in the last second field goal. And I think I'm a little concerned about that. Also, the question for the Eagles is Jalen Hurts. How healthy is he going to be? He's been out with a concussion the last few weeks, and I think the biggest concern for both teams for me in this matchup is how are the starting quarterbacks going to fare with injuries? What's going to happen with their starting quarterback play? How's that going to affect the offenses? Will the defenses have the upper hand in this one? I think the possibility of this game being a defensive game, because both quarterbacks are coming off of injuries, and Jalen Hurts and Jordan Love, we'll see how it plays out. I think this game is going to be one of those games where the defense is going to be a factor for both teams, and the defense is going to have to win it in special teams. It's going to be a special teams and defense game for this matchup, I think, at the end of the day. And the Eagles with 14 wins, Packers with 10, 11, I think. 10 or 11, if I remember correctly. These two teams are going to be interesting to see. This game is going to be a fun one to watch. Defensive and special teams battle with the quarterbacks coming off injuries. At the day, I think the Eagles get the job done playing at home, because the Packers, they have to go on their own. Eagles, Philadelphia is hostile environment. It's loud. It's going to be so loud. Jordan Love might not be able to hear. But for the Eagles at the end of the day, I think they get the job done. In a defensive and special teams game for both teams. Give me the Eagles of this one on Sunday afternoon. Moving on to the next one. It's the Washington Commanders and rookie quarterback Jaden Daniels, Heisman Trophy winner from last year. They're going up against the Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers. Last year, the Buccaneers, if everyone remembers, with Baker Mayfield his first year there, they got to the division round last year and lost in Detroit. This year, different story. Playing on Sunday night, they're playing against the Commanders, who come in with 12 wins as a wildcard team, and the Buccaneers have 10 wins. One of the most lopsided NFC South winners this year, and the NFC South has been the weakest division over the last few years. They can look at it and say this: the Washington. If there's going to be a game where a team wins and a wildcard team wins, this is going to be one of them in the NFC. One of two potentially. I'll bring up the other one here shortly. But the Commanders, Jaden Daniels, he's made big plays at the end of games. For the Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield, he just needs to come in. The Buccaneers need to come in, make the plays, and be responsible for their plays, and just not make mistakes in this game. And I think the same's going to happen for Washington at the end of the day. And I think that's how Tampa Bay could win this game, is if Baker Mayfield makes the least amount of mistakes possible, and the Buccaneers make the least amount of mistakes overall as a team. And I think that's how Tampa Bay wins this one. Unfortunately, it's Commanders. It's going to be tough. I do think it's another close game again. But give me the Commanders and Baker Mayfield against Jaden Daniels and the Commanders. So the Buccaneers get the win here in this one for me. Going over. Next matchup. To finish off the weekend on Monday night with the Vikings. 14-3. Up against the Rams and Matthew Stafford. Rams back in the playoffs for the first time in a few years. As we look at this one, this matchup should be another fun one. Rams, Vikings. Sam Darnold and the Vikings, 14 wins, 3 losses. One of the best NFC teams in the playoffs this year as a wildcard team with 14 wins. They finished a game behind Detroit, who had 15 in their own division in the NFC North. That's going to be fun. This game's going to be fun to see on Monday Night Football. This game, I think, is going to be one of those games which will be the highest scoring games this week for the wildcard round. Because I think Matthew Stafford and the Rams, they can throw the ball downfield. They could score a lot of points too. So can Sam Darnold and the Vikings. I think at the end of this game, Monday night, we might have 80-plus points combined between the two teams at the end of the day. And I don't know who's going to win this one at the end of the day. The Rams have weapons as well. Vikings have some weapons as well. Justin Jefferson. Rams have Cooper Kupp as well. They have both teams use running back well, Aaron Jones, and the Rams use their running back well. And I think at the end of this game, Shocker. Vikings come away with a win in the wild card round as I see them moving on as the number 4 seed, moving on as the number 5 seed, getting the win against the number 4 seed in LA this week. So there you have it. Quick recap of who I'm taking this week. Starting out in Houston with the Chargers and Justin Herbert over to the Texans and CJ Stroud. In Baltimore, I'm taking Lamar Jackson, the Ravens over the Steelers, and Russell Wilson. In Buffalo, I'm taking Josh Allen, the Bills. Over to Broncos and Bo Nix. In Philadelphia, I'm taking Jalen Hurts and the Eagles against Green Bay Packers and Jordan Love. And in Tampa, I'm taking Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers over Jaden Daniels and the Commanders of Washington. And at the end of the day, in Atlanta, I'm taking the Vikings and Sam Darnold over the Rams and Matthew Stafford for the wild card week predictions. With that being said, comment below who your favorite team is playing, if they are playing, and if you think they will win. And I'll see you right back here next week for the divisional round predictions next Thursday. With that being said, please remember to watch, like, subscribe. Don't forget to tell friends to do the same if they have not done so yet already. And also don't forget to hit that notification button below so you know when there's new videos on the channel. With that being said, have a good day. Stay safe and peace out. I'll see you right back here in the divisional round predictions next Thursday. Have a good day, everyone. Stay safe. Peace out. See you next Thursday. Bye.